Hey guys, so I'm gonna lose these. Um, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna talk about today, and I didn't think about it until I was driving home just now from hanging out with a friend. And I'm going down the freeway, and it just suddenly, some memories popped in my head. Sorry, from a previous friendship that I had, and when you have someone in your life and then suddenly you don't, it leaves a lot of open wounds because we need closure when something happens to us that's unpleasant so that we can understand maybe why it happened, because that makes us feel better. And so I was thinking about this because occasionally, even now, 3 years later, that still pops into my head. And I don't feel a whole lot from it anymore. But I thought about all that came from it afterwards. And about a year ago, I was digging through some stuff and I found something that had to do with this situation. And I just remember still feeling trapped in my sadness and misery from it, until I thought, I'm going to burn this. And the reason why I'm going to burn this is because I'm going to take back my power. And I did. Oh, hello, cat. Mom! That's what that was. And it was one of those things where itchy nose. This is what I get for going out, guys. It was one of those things where this thing was kept in a box of sentimental stuff. Had the friendship stayed the same and nothing occurred, that would have been something very sentimental that I would have kept. But because I essentially had this friend just walk out of my life with no explanation, it was the strangest thing. The last time I saw this person before they started to distance themselves from me, I had probably one of the funnest days I've ever had with them. And then suddenly everything changed, and I still don't know why. So just to give a little bit of a backstory there. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm not really talking about what did happen. I'm talking about what should come of it. This sort of stuff is not easy to heal from. We are left confused. We are left blaming ourselves. We are left with all those open wounds that, like I said, they don't get sutured up because we have no closure when something like this happens. And when something terrible happens to us, we want to have an explanation for it because it helps us understand our pain. And but the release and the claiming of our own power that hopefully we can come back around to after a situation like this is, I think, what we really need to take from these types of things. Because you will either do one of two things. You will repress and cling and absorb the negative experience and let it consume you and eat away at you, or you will claim back your power and try your best to move on from it. Now, let's be realistic. It's still going to sting every now and then, and that's okay because it's something that affected you, and if it hurts you, it hurts you. But it's important to move into a place of reclaiming your power. And I think I did a video on this last spring, shortly after I came back to YouTube, but it's just something I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially since it was about a year ago that I found that thing among my possessions and I lit it up in my cauldron. And then I realized there are so many different things I could be doing this with. And I had a memory back to the very first actual spell that I did. And it was basically a release spell. I felt a lot of depression throughout high school, and I didn't fully understand it. To be honest, I still don't, but And I remember I was about 15 or so. I wrote down everything I was feeling on a piece of paper, and I went outside. I stuck it in a coffee, like a big coffee tin thing, and burned it. And I still do that stuff every now and then. So, you know, fast forward to now, here I am, 33, and I get a care package in the mail about a week ago from my good friend Raquel, who's the Barefoot Horse here on YouTube. Barefoot Horse, not Belfoot Horse. Sorry, Raquel. Inside it is this little book. It says Negative Notebook, and it's got some matches on it with a strike stick. And what do you know? It's the exact same concept of the thing that I've been doing for years to try and release myself from some negative shit. And to be honest, I thought this was the coolest thing. Thank you, Raquel. This is so awesome. And I guess really just what I want to say tonight is that I want to encourage you guys. If there is something that's been troubling you, light it up. Let it go. Of course, obviously do this with the proper fire safety precautions and stuff. To be fair, the last time I did this, I went outside in my fire pit, put the cauldron inside the fire pit, and that did it. But I just figured I'd preference that. Always keep water nearby. Check your fire extinguishers, guys, smoke detectors, all that jazz. But I just wanted to encourage you guys to think about the things that have been troubling you and to let them go. We're also getting into fall season where bonfires are a thing. And sometimes it's really nice to take a notepad, get it all out, and throw it in that fire. Because the act of release is something that we underestimate, because what it really is us claiming back our power. Us claiming back our power over a situation that has wounded us so deeply. So this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. And I'm kind of glad it just popped in my head. At first it stung, but now I feel pretty good. So, let's go put these back on so I can see. 'Cause I'm blind. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video for today, and I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Blessed be.